Tracy here with Mom Life Today, and we have a special guest with us. We're with Priscilla Shirer. And Priscilla, we have moms out there that come to us wanting to know information about good stuff.
Yes.
Well, I find out something that is good stuff, and it's the movie Courageous.
It is good stuff.
Yeah, but I think that the moms may assume that it's a guy movie and it's for men. But can you let them know why it's important for them to go see the movie too?
Well, let me just say, you know, there's, yes, policemen and guns and all that stuff, and so we might see the posters and go, wait a minute, that's not for me. But, and granted, it's not, you know, a romance flick, and yet it is in so many ways because it is about restoring relationship between husbands and wives and between fathers and their children. So it is a very delicate balance of being kind of manly enough, I guess, for your guy to want to go, but then also being sensitive enough and specific enough to what matters to the heart of women to draw us in as well. So, you know, I've seen the movie, I'm a fan of the movie, and I think that, you know, while the climax of the movie is calling men to make a resolution, which, you know, that makes our heart pitter-patter just knowing that men are being called to rise to the standard that God has called them to. But in the end of it, you know, you leave the theater or you leave, you know, if you're watching it on DVD, and you want to make your own resolutions. You want to be everything God has called you to be after watching these 5 guys and the story that surrounds them and their wives and their children in this movie. So it's a great movie for men and for women.
I know for me, it's almost like if you go see that movie as a wife and as a mom, you have this desire to help set your husband up to be the hero.
That's right.
Because you see that modeled in the women, how they love their husbands and are able to encourage. And so I kind of felt like after I watched the movie, okay, what can I do to help set my husband up to be the hero?
Yes.
Did you get that feeling?
Absolutely. You want him to succeed because you want your family to succeed, you know? So you're hoping that your husband will catch the fire, this passion of wanting to make resolutions of his own. And in doing so, that causes you to make some resolutions about the kind of woman you're going to be that, like you said, sets him up to be the hero.
Right. Yeah. And speaking of those resolutions, I don't know if you've read them yet, but I read them and I literally wanted to grab some pom-poms and shake them. Tell us about your resolutions for women.
There is a book called The Resolution for Women. It includes 13 different resolution points that you and I as women are resolving to make in our lives, committing ourselves to. And by the way, they are not about being a wife and a mom. I think of the 13, there's one of them that's about being a wife and there's one that's about being a mom. But the rest of them, the majority of them, are just about us as women. So the first one is, honestly, there are a lot of them that are challenging, but the first one is really challenging for me, and it's basically this. I do solemnly resolve to not hurry through or circumvent any portion of my life and my journey, but to settle into the season God has me in right now.
Amen.
And I choose a spirit of contentment. Well, that's
a huge one.
Yes, and it's not about being a wife and a mom. This is about your life.
Right.
And so most of these resolutions, you know, I think there's a little bit of a myth that it's just about, because the movie was so focused on being a husband and father, that then the counterpart, the resolution for women is just about being a wife and a mom, and it's not. It is about the resolutions that will shape our lives, because the ripple effect of having your own cemented resolutions in place in your life is that you will, even if you're a single woman now, those are going to affect the kind of wife you will be later on if the Lord chooses to send you a mate and that's what He has for you. And it will affect the relationships that you have outside of marriage.
Right.
Your relationship with your mom and dad, your siblings, your friendship with others, and then just the way you see yourself.
Right.
And the type of enjoyable, abundant life that you will have as an individual woman in whom the Spirit of God dwells. So I'm excited about the resolution for women. I'm excited that the Kendrick brothers, who produced the movie, that they kind of called me up and asked me to jump on board with them in writing the resolution for women.
Well, definitely God is in this, moms, and so you need to make sure you see the movie Courageous, and you need to make sure you get the resolution book, and we'll just all come back again maybe in the future, and we can find out some hints from Priscilla. All right? Thanks, moms, and you have a great week, and we'll see you next week on Mom Life Today.